Hey guys. So, first of all, it's just amazing to be able to even do this video together. And, right now we currently are in Chicago, Illinois.
Yep.
Me and Vanessa, I'm Lamar, by the way. This is Vanessa. Vanessa and I have been together for a year and 9 months as of right now. And it's been really an incredible ride, really humbling to know of God's grace and His mercy on it. And so I'm just going to let the lady go first, because ladies go first, and you can start, Vanessa.
So, where should I begin? There's so much to our story individually and as a couple, but we're just so thankful for God's grace throughout and just being at the center of our relationship. We've been keeping our relationship private on social media for the entire time that we've been together. So this is the first video that we're filming together as a couple, and that's going to be showcased because we want to make more videos like this. So it started out in 2017 in December. Lamar and I have a mutual friend who does this ministry. She has this ministry called Eat, Play, Pray, where she just brings young people together to pray and fellowship and to just play games, just have a good time with each other. And it's always very, very good. But there was a couple of them that I missed in the beginning. And I remember my friend, who's also a mutual friend of ours, she's a really close friend of mine. She invited me to an Eat, Play, Pray event, and I was like, you know what, I want to go. And it was actually the day that I was leaving my job, which is very significant. I had put in my resignation. I was going on to a new job, a new chapter in my life. And I was like, you know what, I want new beginnings. So this is the season of new beginnings, I was single at the time. I was really desiring marriage and a godly man at the time. As much as I was really out there independently, go-getting, like a go-getter does, I was really desiring just a godly man, godly Christian marriage. And so I was like, you know what? I do just want to meet people. I don't necessarily need to meet the one right now, but I just want to get out there and meet others. And so I was like, okay, let me just go to this event, just see what it's like, because I want to make more Christian friends. So it was mainly to make Christian friends, but I also had in the back of my mind, what if God might be sending me my husband? I don't know, but let's just go and try it out, because I'm not gonna meet him just being in the house anyway. So I went, and it was all the way in Long Island at my friend Shannon's house, our mutual friend I was telling you about, and it was awesome. It was really, really good. It was a Christmas Eat, Play, Pray event, and I remember I was really shy at the event, and I was trying to find a seat because I just wanted to sit down away from people, just get on my phone, because I was feeling really, really shy at the time. And so I saw this space in between Lamar and someone else. And it was just, it was a small couch, and Lamar was on the right side. And I just sat in the middle. I had no intentions of talking to Lamar. At first, I wasn't attracted to him. So I was like, I just want to sit here and just get on my phone. I didn't have any sort of, desire there. But I was just like, I'm just gonna sit here. And then he actually greeted me, y'all. He was like, oh, hi. How are you? My name is Lamar. And he just had the biggest smile. And I was just like, ooh, no offense, but I was just like, ooh, yeah. I'm a kind person. So I was just like, oh, you're so sweet. In my head, I'm like, oh, he's so sweet, but also he's not my type. So I'm just going to be kind, but I'm not going to entertain anything because, we're just at an event. And so he was just talking to me. We started talking. I'm like, oh, this conversation is going kind of good. And I'm like, oh Lord, please. And I was really saying this in my head. I was like, oh Lord, please don't let this be the one. And I know that sounds really messed up, but I was just like nervous because I'm like, oh my God, like this is not what I expected, because he just wasn't my type. Like the type of guys that I go after is just different. So, we're talking, and I'm like, oh, the conversation's going really, really well. He's asking me about tech and all that type of stuff. It was just like, okay, I'm telling him about, my journey in tech, and he's telling me about what he does as a writer and Thoughts of Redemption, which he'll tell you about. Is awesome. He's a blogger. I'm a blogger. We both like to write. So we just clicked. And, I just remember how great that conversation was. I don't remember all the things we said, but I just remember how great it was. And I remember I was telling him that I was searching for a church, and he was like, oh, my church has this youth group. I don't know if you're ready to commit to the church or anything, but you can come like try it out. And he's like, here, take my number. I'll invite you when we have events. And I was like, oh, I would love to do that, because like I love fellowship, I love youth groups and Bible studies, and that's how I came to Christ, which you'll learn more later. But so I was just like, okay, that's great. And so we exchanged numbers. And he even offered to drive me home because he knew that I lived in Queens. And he's like, oh, I live in Queens, I can drive you home. And I was like, oh no, because I always feel uncomfortable like just going in random guys' cars. So I was just like, not to say he's like a random guy. He seems like he's a kind guy. Look at him. But it's just like, I just felt so uncomfortable about that because I don't know him. So I was like, no, I'm fine. I'll take an Uber, and I'll take a train. I'll be good. And sure enough, I did. And I was safe, praise God. But, after that, we didn't talk. Like, he had my number. We did not talk. I don't remember any text messages after that. I don't know.
New Year's? That was it.
Yeah, and time went on, and I think, like he said, Happy New Year's, and that was it. Like 4 months passed, and no Lamar, and I wasn't even, honestly, he wasn't even on my radar because, like I said, he wasn't my type. So I had started dating another guy. Like, he didn't make the move. He was too slow. You move your feet, you lose your seat. So I was already on to the next. I didn't even see him as somebody I would date anyways, but like, it was just like, I was just like, so just trying to like find, like, I just had this desire in me to like find somebody and just have like this connection with somebody. It didn't necessarily have to be someone like a romantic relationship. I just wanted connection. And so yeah, I'll let him tell like his part of the story up until then. But that's literally how we met. And there's just so much else that happened after. But we'll have much, much more time to talk about that.
Yeah. So from our perspective, like Vanessa said, that we both ended up meeting at the Eat, Play, Pray event. And, like she said, she ended up sitting next to me. And usually I don't tend to strike up conversations like that. I do from time to time, but I'm pretty chill, and I pretty much will talk to people that I know. But for whatever reason, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna, say, hey, it looks like she doesn't know anybody, and everybody's like in their own like circles and everything like that. And so I was like, okay, I introduced myself, and we got into a conversation. And one of the first things that I noticed about her was how easy it was to talk to her. And the conversation really flowed. And like she said, we talked about tech, and we talked about our life with Christ, our faith, and just a bunch of different topics that we talked about. And like she said, we don't remember every single conversation, but nonetheless that we had a great conversation. And I was genuinely serious about connecting her with a church home, at least assisting her in that way, because she made mention of that. And so that's where I asked her for her number so that I can contact her. Yes, believe me, it was literally just to contact her for that. And so, I hit her up after seeing her at another EPP event. It was a karaoke night. And, I saw her at the event. I was like, oh, she's cute. And after a process of time, after being her friend on Facebook, I was like, I'm going to actually ask her out. And I messaged her on Facebook, and you know, by then she was already taken. But the funny part about that is that I messaged her on Facebook and I already had her phone number. So, you know, I was just so focused on like, okay, I'm gonna ask her out, and then I could have just texted her. But yeah, but we'll talk more about the process from that point on at another video. And so we'll see you again next time.